SMGs are one of the most popular classes in Call of Duty, right next to assault rifles. But as most of you know, there have been a lot of terrible SMGs throughout the years. Mobility and time to kill are two huge factors in this series. Now, SMGs can often give you the best of both worlds. They could also give you the worst. What's up, everybody? Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to do an updated list on 10 of the absolute worst garbage dumpster fire SMGs in Call of Duty history. So let me know which of these you think is the absolute worst. Drop a like on the video and let's just jump right into it. At number 10, the Striker 45 in Modern Warfare 2019. Now, the UMP 45, one of the most iconic SMGs in Call of Duty. But the 2019 version, it did not live up to the hype or the legacy. Yes, it has that low fire rate and that bouncy recoil, but the damage is so low for some reason in the default magazine, 25 rounds. That's a really weird change. The Striker also has some pretty slow mobility for an SMG in Modern Warfare, and the time to kill was painfully long in a game where you had weapons like the MP5, the MP7, the M4, basically the triple M's, and probably some other guns that start with the letter M. This gun, let's be real, it sucked. Nobody used it, and if you ever tried it in Warzone 1, I'm sorry for your pain. At number 9, the launch WAF 28 in COD World War II. I remember using it in the beta for the game. It was decent, but for some reason Sledgehammer decided to tone it down in the full release, and they way over-tuned it. When the game came out, the WAF was absolutely terrible. It was a bullet hose with super low damage, high recoil, which is not going to be a combination of traits you want in a Call of Duty gun. I think it eventually got buffed a little bit, and overall COD World War II is decently balanced now, but when the game first launched, the WAF was hot garbage. It deserves to be here. Before we move on, guys, if you get anything from G2A.com, consider using code CHAOS to get yourself some cash back. The link is at the top of the description. At number 8, the launch KSP-45 in Black Ops Cold War. Now, Cold War had a massive redemption arc. When the game came out, widely hated for the abundance of bugs and weird game design choices, but the patches came through. Treyarch managed to make a game that a lot of the COD community members now look back at fondly. But if you were playing the game during the launch, you probably remember how bad the KSP was. Burst SMG, moderate damage, and a really slow fire rate, and simply put, it could not keep up with the rest of the guns in the game. On its own, average. When compared to everything else you had at your disposal, borderline useless. Because it simply couldn't put out damage quick enough. It couldn't compete with guns like the MP5, the FFAR, the AK-74U, and basically everything else on the list. Today, it's decent. It has a fan club like many other Burst SMGs, but the launch version, it gets a spot today because nobody wanted to use it. At number 7, the Scorpion in COD 4. We're going way back. I feel like there's some mixed opinions on the Scorpion, and your thoughts on it come down to one simple question. Do you play core or do you play hardcore? The Scorpion has some really horrible traits with a 20-round mag, weird iron sights, and that extremely long reload animation, but on the flip side, it's accurate. And it's accurate. So if you're a hardcore player, a weapon like this is decent. I mean, the mobility, the accuracy. If you're a core player, you hated it because it was horrible. The time to kill wasn't too long. The reload animation would frequently get you killed, and since COD 4 had stopping power and double tap in the same perk category, you couldn't actually make the gun viable unless you switched over to hardcore. Personally, I think it belongs here, but I know some of you are going to argue with me on that, and that's okay. At number 6, the FHR 40. Infinite Warfare. I just love Infinite Warfare's names. Creative. Futuristic P90. Should have been awesome. It had some cool looking variants, but overall, pretty lame. It was one of the fastest firing guns in all of Infinite Warfare, which is saying something, but the recoil was high and the damage was low. Now, despite being an SMG, it wasn't capable of a 3-shot kill. Even if you got 3 headshots at point blank range, it would not drop your enemy. Plus, the range was horrible and the damage per shot would quickly drop all the way down to 16. Unless you were literally shoving the gun into somebody's mouth hole, it was useless. And at that point, you might as well use a different SMG with a faster time to kill. For a P90 type weapon, it should have been way better. And I think it's honestly one of the worst SMGs we've ever gotten in COD. Now we get into the top 5. The cream of the crop. The launch PDSW 528 Modern Warfare 2 2022. That's a breath right there. Speaking of P90 type weapons, the 2022 version also sucked, and it was pretty much for all the same reasons we just talked about with the FHR 40. Too weak, too bouncy, insanely fast time to kill in this game hurt it. I mean, SMG without a fast time to kill wasn't going to compete with the rest of the available weapons. I will admit that I haven't really played this game since the initial few weeks, so it may have been buffed a few times that I'm not aware of, but I do remember it being completely crap when the game came out, and I think that version deserves to be tucked in at number 5. At number 4, I played with this gun a lot. The AMR-9 in Advanced Warfare. Burst SMGs, let's be real, they're a mixed bag. They have a fan club no matter what game they're in, but if there's one burst SMG that nobody liked, it had to be the AMR-9. 5-round pea shooter would constantly get you killed with long burst delay, low damage per bullet. I remember being so excited about this. A 5-round burst? I guess you could technically get a 1-burst kill if you landed all 5 shots at close range, but at that point, why not just use a full auto? Every gun in Advanced Warfare sandbox had a place, but the AMR-9, it felt out of place, and I think there's a reason why there hasn't been another 5-round burst SMG ever. It just wasn't worth using. At number 3, the Launch HG40 in Black Ops 3. Now, I feel like I have a personal issue with this gun because of how excited I was when it came out and how much time and money I spent opening supply drops to get my hands on it. You know what happened once I finally got it? It sucked. The original version of the HG40 was arguably the worst gun in Black Ops 3, and for a remake of the MP40, that stung. It had an extremely low fire rate, the damage was bad, the recoil was bouncy, it was unfun. That's right, it was an unfun gun on top of being a terrible weapon. It was later I think it was buffed pretty significantly, but the original version was bad, and the fact you had to open 1 million supply drops to get it, just another slap in the face. At number 2, the MP5 in Modern Warfare 3. This gun was hot, juicy trash. I didn't know it was possible to make an MP5 this bad, but they did it. They did it all the way back in 2011. The MP5 in Modern Warfare 3, the OG Modern Warfare 3, was a starting weapon that everybody immediately put down after using it one match because when you compare it to every other SMG in the game, it was infinitely worse. It had the smallest magazine, had bad recoil, the damage and range was horrendous, and overall, it was completely pointless in a game like Modern Warfare 3. Not only was it outclassed by the other SMGs, it was also beaten by most of the sidearms. I love this game, I do, but there's some really bad guns in it, and the MP5 was arguably the worst of them all. At number 1, the Uzi in Black Ops 1. Longtime viewers of my channel, they know I have a personal vendetta against this gun because of a video I made way back in the day. The Black Ops 1 Uzi is bad, horrendously bad. It fires really quickly, yes, but that recoil is so high, the damage is so low, and the iron sights are some of the worst in the entire franchise. And that's not talking about the reload animation, which is really long for some reason, and you'll be seeing a lot of it since you're constantly burning through your ammo. If the Uzi did just a little bit more damage, it may have made it to mid-tier. Let's be right. I mean, let's be honest with you. It wouldn't have made it to mid-tier. But as it stands right now, it's terrible. Nobody should use it. I think it's the worst SMG in COD history. There you go, my friends. Let me know where you agree. Let me know where you disagree. Let me know one SMG that really deserved to be on this list today and be with its family, and I forgot about it. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.